This is Let's Talk About Magnum PI, the podcast from fans for fans of Magnum PI.
So let's begin. We're here for another episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Magnum PI podcast.
We are going to talk about for 12?
Yeah.
12.
Yeah, it's 12. I am getting confused myself these days.
I know, I'm losing track.
Yeah, mentally, somehow someone is claiming there's a 4A and 4B. It's not a 4A and 4B. Usually 4A and 4B are used for different, thematically different half seasons, which throws me off because that would mean the Christmas episode was 410, which is isn't. So I'm like, need to sort my brain. So this is why I'm off track. I don't know why you're off track.
Because mentally I'm like 7 episodes ahead.
Okay, that's oddly specific.
Okay, maybe not 7. I don't know. I just threw a random number out there. But
it's 5.
What are we? Yeah, you're right.
I know. I can do the math. You're 5 episodes ahead.
Ish, yeah.
Speaking of episodes ahead, let's start with news for our packed podcast before we dive in. So next time there is no episode of Magnum PI, you guys will get an interview right here on our podcast.
Woot woot!
Yes, and I can tell you, this guy is fucking amazing.
Best dude ever.
Yeah, super charming, super handsome, super knowledgeable,
super nice.
Super fun, super nerdy. Like, if there's something you like about people, he probably is that person.
Yeah. Overall, awesome guy.
Yeah, and he was on Magnum PI, so...
You guys know him for sure.
Yeah, you've seen him around. And we'll obviously eventually tell you who it is, but...
We have to wait for some little hiatus coming up.
Yeah, and we'll also leave some breadcrumbs for you. Because what's the fun telling you directly?
We'll wait and find out.
Come and find the breadcrumbs that we're spreading. But yeah, that is our news, our big news for the podcast. Let's go to the news for the episode.
Yeah.
Whew, was that a hot one? For me, at least.
Yeah. It had emotions. It had feels. I think everyone had characters and fans had moments of emotion going through it. I don't think there was a single person that wasn't affected in some way.
Yeah.
At some of it.
I mean, I've basically retweeted from Twitter after it for the reason of how much it fucked me up. But like even in these small moments that I saw, there was a lot of emotions, a lot of them in all spectrums of it.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My brain kind of fuzzy last night. I don't know. It's kind of exhausted.
Oh my god, tell me about it. For those who don't follow me on my personal Twitter, you might have seen it on Chantal's Twitter too, because she reacted to my tweets. I have spent a significant amount of the episode actually crying and throwing up due to crying, but that's a different story. Yeah, so significant amount of the episode spent crying. So the details of the actual case, are a little bit hazy to me. Because of that, because like there were times where I literally couldn't see the screen.
Yeah, and also the episode itself, like on top of that, was a little bit disjointed. I found at times. So.
Possibly. Let's start with the one thing that I've kept saying since the sneak peek came out, because it was bothering me so much. Again, you guys know we've been in Hawaii. I've spent a month in Hawaii, and we've been to certain places a couple of times. One of these places is Magic Island / Ala Moana, Beach Park, and the other one is Hawaii Kai. Both places have an active, well, not active, there's no active volcanoes on Oahu. Why did I just say that? An inactive volcano in the background, a crater. One has Leahi, or as you all know it, Diamond Head crater, and the other has the Coco crater. Not Coco Head, that's a different one. Yeah, and so we saw our three boys in the water surfing together with a wonderful backdrop of Coco crater. When they get out of the water, they're on Magic Island with the wonderful backdrop of Diamond Head. If you want to go and consult Google, I don't know how they did that, getting from Hawaii Kai all the way to Magic Island and still look this good, but a couple of hours later, apparently they still look this good to get out of the water on Magic Island.
Because it's like a half-hour drive, so if they were actually in the water, it would be like forever.
Much more since they're paddling.
Yeah. So.
Unless, of course, they just packed their surfboards up, drove to Magic Island, went back in, and we only saw them get back out at Magic Island, which makes absolutely no sense. I mean, I get it. I completely understand why they did that. It's easier. Arguably, probably much easier to film the water scenes in Hawaii Kai because there's a lot less traffic. Ala Moana has all the traffic from Waikiki Beach. There's all of these locals that are going there. It's a really popular spot. Magic Island is, water is a popular spot there, and it's less populated in Hawaii Kai. On the other hand, Hawaii Kai's beach is not pretty.
So it makes sense that they use both.
Yeah. So Magic Island is way prettier. The backdrop is way prettier. It makes sense if you think about it, if you want to highlight the beauty of Hawaii. If there's someone who's spent a significant amount of time on the island, however, it goes a little bit, what just happened?
Yeah.
Which is something that we're not supposed to see because suspense of disbelief. Yeah, it didn't work for me. Not in this case. I mean, there was something that I was focused on that was not the background, but yeah, I was focused on that during the sneak peeks.
Yeah.
Because
that sneak peek was useless anyways.
For story purposes, yes, but it teased us to get a cute little surf spot. I do actually remember going getting really excited about the promo picture, like, oh, they're in Magic Island, I've been there, this is where, I swam. And then the sneak peek came on, I was like, wait a second, that's a white cut.
Yeah.
How? But alas, movie magic.
Yep. That's what it's all about.
There's a lot of it happening on Magnum PI. I think we spent an early episode tracking them through an episode, and yeah, their patterns weren't exactly logical. I gotta admit, there's another instance where I did the whole tracking thing, except I didn't actually track it. I just happened to know where a street was. So we saw a street name on a phone. The food truck?
Yeah, when they were looking for the food truck.
And then they mentioned Chinatown, it being in Chinatown. That street doesn't run through Chinatown. I mean, if you mentally extended it to where it would run through Chinatown, again, it just stops eventually. So no, it doesn't. At least not according to what I know, unless it just randomly picks up again somewhere else, which is completely possible in Honolulu.
Yeah, it could be.
And yeah, there's that. It's completely possible that I'm wrong. So if I am, tell me.
Who knows? We'd have to look it up.
Or go back.
That too.
Sounds like
that's already the plans.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like once you go to Hawaii, you'll never want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Kate and TC? Get that over with.
Yeah. Okay. Saw it coming. The whole foster father thing. Thought it was a very sweet little moment. I like that Cade was kind of like, humbled up a bit more when TC was like, what do you think about me being your foster dad? Because he was a bit bratty at the beginning.
Oh, he's quite often a bit bratty, I think. He was a little bit bratty about the car, and even before that. Which is one of the main reasons why I can't connect to Kate. Or couldn't.
Yeah. So I thought it was like a very nice, sweet little ending, and I'm happy that we got a little bit more of that story fleshed out a little bit. I liked it.
I'm actually quite happy with that part of the story. Gotta be quite honest, I like that part of the story a lot. There's one little tidbit that I really didn't like about it, where Kate told him, like, is this because you want to fix your mistake? TC didn't make any mistakes in this case. TC told a friend, asked a friend about any advice, and he didn't. I want to say he underestimated Gordon going to CPS, but on the other hand, TC never had the information that's needed for him to underestimate him or overestimate him. So he just didn't know that Gordon would react that way. He assumed he would react that way and bend the rules like he does with Magnum. However, Gordon acts a little bit different when kids are involved, as we know with Hiapo, with his own son, and it's perfectly normal, especially for a father to act a little bit different. And he had the kid's best interest in mind, and it turned out awesome. It turned out really poetically, I think. The fact that TC, who got abandoned, now doesn't abandon this kid when waters get rough is really fucking poetic.
Yeah, and it just shows that he has a huge heart, like we already knew.
Yeah. You can. It's like you see TC,
big teddy bear.
The first thing you think is like a big teddy bear that could fuck you up if you fuck with his family.
Yeah,
like you're really protective when you're friends with TC.
So I like that. I like that part of the story.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why TC is one of my favorite characters, actually. Like, he's very trustworthy, he's very kind, he's very gentle-hearted. He's an awesome friend.
He's a sweetie.
Yeah, and now he's going to be an awesome dad to a slightly bratty teenager.
I bet you anything at the end of the season he's going to adopt him at some point. Maybe not the end of the season, but he'll adopt him at some point.
I'm not entirely familiar with the US systems, but I'm not sure he can. Yeah,
he can.
Is there no does he not have to have like full consent from people?
So generally what happens is like if he gets approved as like the foster father, like after a certain amount of time, like as long as he's not horrible, then they'll be like, do you want to adopt the kid?
Okay, so here there is a certain amount of the actual biological parent would have to consent to that.
Okay.
And if they don't consent, there's no adoption, and the fostering just continues.
Okay.
Which is one of the reasons why I wasn't adopted until I was 21. Because someone had to consent to it, and there was no desire on any part of my, my adoptive or my mother's side to even contact that someone. And not for me either.
Yeah. I mean,
which is probably the perfect bridge to the hard part of the episode, I guess. Leah's story.
Beep.
Did your microphone just move on its own?
Yeah. It kind of fell down.
Oh, awesome. We've got sentient microphones now. Next time they're doing the podcast without us.
They don't need us, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Because the falling is gonna fall off. Oh my god.
Oh, perfect.
Let me just
right here. Except I'm not going to cut that out.
Let me just readjust. It's
I'm just
really
waiting for it.
Wait. Okay. Okay. There we go. How's that?
And now we'll wait for it to move on its own again.
Can mind of its own.
So, since we haven't done the Christmas episode yet, I'm just going to straight out and tell you guys that there is a certain overlap between Leah's story and mine. Namely, the fact that I was not raised by my biological parent. I had no contact with my biological father. There were certain things that he said and did that reinforced the fact that I didn't want any contact with him. I'm speaking in the past because the guy's dead. But even when he was alive, the only part of that biological family, paternal family, that talked to me or wanted any contact with me was my brother, my half-brother. If that reminds you of Leah now, it's because it's essentially the same story. The essentially only difference is my biological father was not a crime boss. However, there is a reason why to this day next to nobody knows his actual identity. Only a select, I guess until I talked about the podcast, about it on a podcast, only a select amount of people get to hear that story after a select amount of time. So I'm not telling this straight up because there's reasons for that. That are, by the way, not trust issues. I mean, I have trust issues. That just doesn't have anything to do with it.
Separate.
Yeah, you can have trust issues and still not want to tell people about who your father is and who your dad is. But yeah, Leah has a primal dad who's estranged. Let me start with one thing, and that's the HPD aspect of it. Again, correct me if I get any of the American legal system wrong, but as far as I know, especially from researching stuff about books, for books and other things or TV shows, I might have researched something for a TV show at one point. Actually, that information came from that research. The fact that Leah managed to not disclose the identity of her biological father, Johnny Kim, speaks to me that he never, signed off on her being his daughter. As far as I know, you can't just put someone's name on the birth certificate and be like, hey, that's their dad. So there is no legal document there is no legal birth certificate or document that is the paper trail for that. Doesn't make it any less, doesn't make him any less her father, but there is no legal document that says, hey, he's her father. Meaning that at that point, Leah never had to disclose it to HPD because he is on paper not her father. In reality, he is, but DNA and legalities are two separate animals. So, Leah technically didn't forge anything, and Leah never lied about it, unless someone straight up asked her, hey, is your father Johnny Kim? Which I assume wasn't the thing. She omitted a detail. And that is the really interesting thing that I want to drive home here. She omitted a detail. She didn't straight up lie. Not telling someone the identity of your father is, again, a completely different animal than saying, my father is blah, blah, blah. And she didn't. As far as we know, even with Magnum, she told him that her father was, ran off when she was a baby kid, really, really tiny, which evidently happened given that she never had to disclose that he's her father for HPD. So there's, even in the episodes, there's proof for her story, which means she never lied to Thomas. She just omitted a detail. Okay, you take it now a little bit. You speak, because I'm having a major monologue here.
I mean,
lighten this up before I start crying.
I get what you're saying 100%, but I also get where Magnum is, like, I get where Magnum is coming from as well, with him being upset. I mean, did he have to be as upset as he was? No, probably not. Did he, like, was that the only reason he needed to break up with her? No. But I can understand where he's coming from too, right? Because he's probably thinking, even if she omitted the detail, like you're saying, he's still thinking, like, okay, this woman is not 100% who she says, like, she's, like, who she seems to be. And that's bringing me back to Hannah, right? And Hannah was a big betrayal for him, right?
Yes, that's the crux of it.
So I do understand where he is coming from in terms of that sort of feeling of, like, I don't even want to say betrayal, because it's not necessarily betrayal, right? Because, like you say, it's not that she betrayed him. It's just he didn't know that part of her.
It's perceived betrayal.
Exactly. So I get where he's coming from.
100%.
So, like, that, yeah, I 100% get where he's coming from with that, and I could totally understand him. Like, I could totally understand him feeling the way that he's feeling because of that, right? I mean, and we all know Magnum feels very deeply, right? So the perceived betrayal might be hitting him extra hard because he's Magnum, right?
Yeah, and that's, yeah, I completely get it. But that's why this perceived thing is something that's really important to me to say. It is the Hannah aspect that I think comes out to play here really, really fucking hard.
Absolutely.
There is unhealed trauma with Hannah, and we've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
This is unhealed trauma, and he doesn't address that trauma, and he probably doesn't even realize he has it. Which is one of the reasons why trust issues was so ironic in the end, because, like, Leah, you might not be the only one having trust issues.
Yeah. And I also, like, I mean, it's not just with Leah that he's like that. I mean, we've seen it with him and Higgy even, right? Like, when Hannah shot him back in season 1, and they had that whole conversation, and she was like, she was like, I could have been a little bit nicer, a little bit warmer. And he was like, I would have hated that. Right. And then he was like, I already had somebody who wasn't who she said she was. Right. Like, you can, and also, like, when Higgins was keeping all the MI6 stuff from him, you could see that it hurt him. Right. Like, and they're supposed to be super close and partners and whatever, and all this stuff. So you can see that there's still deep down, like, women and not knowing everything about them has an effect on Magnum.
Yes,
let's put it that way.
There is a deeper separation. Women he's dating and not knowing everything about him has a deeper effect on him than women in generally that he doesn't know anything about.
Yeah,
he has like 4 years of rapport with Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
He has the confirmation that every time she keeps something from him, eventually she will tell him. She'll come clean. This is probably why he didn't react as strongly to her keeping a secret. Also, there's the fact that her secret literally killed her, so he didn't have time to get mad. Dating. And that is the main part. They're not dating. However, Leah, the perceived betrayal, it is still not a betrayal from Leah, has the stronger reaction because he's dating her. Mm-hmm. Because they're literally in the same situation as him and Hannah.
Which actually, I would be interested to see what happens if Miggy starts dating and then there's secret, like, there's a secret. What will Magnum's reaction be to that?
If they're Magnum should, in that case, be a lot harsher with her.
Yeah.
Unless Higgy ends up giving him Dr. Ogawa's card. Because, I'm sorry, but this woman is witnessing all of that right there. She's witnessed her own secret, witnessed the 2 different reactions that Magnum had. She even tried to reason fully at one point, based on who, on her keeping a secret from Magnum. I mean, that could slap her in the face and be like, okay, wait, there is something deeper there. You should talk to Dr. Gao about that. And I think you should. I think you should. That'd be interesting. Never hurt to talk to a therapist. That's why they're therapists. Especially, I mean, Thomas Magnum is like a little ball of issues that are unaddressed, that we've seen over multiple episodes, where we can see tiny little bits of these issues.
Shammy even said it this episode. He was like, I'm sure, he's like, I've been in that dark place and I'm sure you have too. And Magnum was like, right?
Yeah, and we've seen it in the episode with the veteran that was about to kill himself. We've seen it there. We've seen it before when you
Suicide episode.
Rick and TC talking about their PTSD. We've seen it way back in season 1. It's like this entire thread. There's this red thread going through the show where you're like, can someone please give that man a couch to sit down on and talk to someone who might help him heal a little bit more?
Or is it going to come back in a major way and cause the story for an episode?
Yeah, but here's the thing. As much as I would love that, I would really fucking adore that. It would be an episode I would watch 5,000 times, let's be honest, because I'm all for this kind of payoff. If they set it up in season 1, take it all the way to season 4 with Hannah and Leah now, and the same thing with the underlying PTS, I would live for that to pay off. However, we have a sister show where we literally had a character slowly develop multiple deep stages of PTS over and over and over and over again, for it only to be really addressed and on-screen portrayed fully in season 10, and then he ditches the island. So like, if we're going to fully address Magnum's issues, I think we should also address the fallout from them on the show and over multiple episodes, because you don't just go, hey, I'm seeing therapist, I'm healed now, as proven by Higgy. So they have the tools.
Yeah, I think, who knows? I mean, maybe, like, we're talking, like, super future here, but maybe his relationship with Higgins will bring up those deeper issues, and we might see it.
It is a major potential that Higgins, especially Higgins, with the different kind of reactions he has to women dating him, keeping a secret, and women not dating him, keeping a secret. She would be able to. Yes, I just knocked my microphone almost over. She would be able to see those different levels, compare them. There might be something there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how that dynamic is going to play out.
Yeah, we're all on board for that, I guess. Going back to Leo for a second, because I think we both established that we understand where Thomas came from, despite the fact that he was really harsh and kind of unfair to that situation, because he didn't empathize with her and he didn't try to see all of the angles of what this could mean for her. He tried to see one, no questions asked, but he didn't try to see all. Just uncharacteristic for him, but at the same time understandable, because the moment you trigger a past unhealed trauma, some of your rationality just goes out the window, which happened here. clear as day. The thing is, not talking about. I am not telling my partner about my biological father or brother or uncle or sister until really bloody fucking long time into a relationship, because of power dynamics that is something that I have to address for myself. Still, for me, there's always this: you're not wanted. You're the not wanted kid, but one of the other kids is wanted. In my case, 2 other kids were wanted. Why not me? Right? That's one level of it. The other level of it is, if you're at the point where Leah is, where she clearly actively tries to get her dad into jail, you do not want him to have any power in your life. And admitting the fact that he's a father gives him a certain amount of power. Because suddenly everybody knows that your ties to him. Everybody assumes you're biased towards him. Assumes wrongly in Lydia's case, probably. And suddenly he has a certain amount of power over your career, over your relationships. As seen on Magnum PI, suddenly Johnny Kim had a place in all of that. He didn't before. This is one of the reasons why I do not say that, because the dude has no place in my life. He actively walked out. Johnny Kim actively walked out. Like, there is more layers than just being like, oh, he's a crime boss. That's definitely one layer. Definitely one layer. Because I wouldn't want to be associated with that. There's also reasons why I wouldn't want to be associated with my biological family. Again, whole different story. And I'm Leah in this case. I'm not going to tell you yet. I mean, one of my best friends, we've been friends for years. Do you think she knows who he is? Nah. And she doesn't need to. She knows that I've been adopted by my dad, but why does she need the details of it?
Exactly.
Doesn't say anything about me, except for the fact that I share that my brother and I have exactly the same eyes. That's the only thing that it says about me. So yeah, there's that. Overall, as painful as that was, because in that moment my head spiraled. Magnum reacted super fucking harshly to Liam, and there was this whole thought of, she's clearly not good enough, and this, he's villainizing her in that way, and that's all. Okay, yeah, I totally took it up on myself. Okay, that automatically means that applies to me too, because same situation as Liam. On the other hand, dude has massive unhealed trauma, so yeah.
I think he was hurt too that I think it was also like not necessarily like the situation with her father. I think it's the fact that he wanted to help and talk to her and she didn't. Right? Like,
but he's not entitled to that, is he?
True. But I think that also played a huge part as to why.
Absolutely.
Because a relationship communication is key too. So
that's the thing. It's the communication part. I think the entire situation might have gone better if she just told him, hey, I am not up for talking to this, and I need this and this and this, and I hope you're okay. What do you need? And if they met in the middle, that would have been completely different. But
which is kind of what I found like they did when they broke up, right? Because it was like they kind of met in the middle, because like you could tell that neither of them really wanted to break up, but at the same time they knew that it was the best thing, right?
Yeah.
Like so they did meet in the middle.
They found their voices, and the thing that I think is the moment that happened is the moment both came to terms with it a little bit, because a situation like that can spiral you out of control. And I think that might have happened for Leah. There was all these fears, and we seen them on screen. All of these fears about HPD, about her friends, about God, and how they react. She's suddenly really cagey about HPD. Doesn't want to go out of bounds, despite her being perfectly okay with that at one point. And there's a lot amount of fear, and that hinders your communication. Unhealed trauma hinders your ability to communicate. So, like, I completely understand where both characters come from. Completely, utterly understand. I'm still Team Leah for obvious reasons. If you don't know the obvious reasons by now, rewind like 20 minutes and re-listen. But like, I'm still Team Leah for obvious reasons, but I understand it. And for that reason, I think the characterization is actually really good. Really solid, actually.
Yeah.
And kudos for Iggy to put up with all of that in the episode. Like, dude, how awkward must that have been to just stand on the sideline of relationship troubles with a woman you can obviously work really closely with, because Higgy and Leah are a badass. Two badass power women. They would kick ass together. I want them to be friends, by the way.
Could happen.
Higgy needs another female friend. And, then there's your best friend. And yeah, it's not exactly the cleanest situation that she found herself in.
No, it is not.
And she kept level-headed.
She did.
Again.
And she was there for him at the end. With the beer.
As they always are. It's always the beer.
Yeah, that scene.
Ever since episode 4 of season 1. And I'm still not over him just basically offering her a beer to be like, hey, I want to be your friend. I can be your friend. I love that. And I love that this is another thing that is continuity from season 1 to season 4.
I love that they share beers.
Yes.
The Miggy talks.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, if I drank alcohol, I totally would have shared a beer with you in Honolulu.
Yeah, we didn't really drink. I had my Mai Tai. That was about it.
Yeah, we shared Cokes on the beach.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
What else are you gonna do when you?
We should have gotten non-alcoholic beer.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing. I'm German. 90% of American beer is kind of non-alcoholic for me, because that's I had beer. I used to drink alcohol in the past, so like I have experience with American beer and German beer. Like, whoo, you basically drink vodka, guys. It's like there's that.
I hate the taste of it. I find it too bitter.
There's actually a little bit of a trick, and you can see it on Wi-Fi, and I'm still mind blown that it works. I had a longboard way before Hawaii. There, you can actually get them in Germany imported. But if you watch Steve McGarrett, he basically pulls his tongue, pushes the tongue first into the bottle, and then drinks. I firstly assumed it was to not actually drink, like his strategy to not actually drink the beer and scream, because you can't actually drink it while filming. But if you do that, it leaves a little bit of a hole, and it directs the beer over a different part of the tongue, completely altering the taste, making it a lot less bitter and a lot nicer tasting. Which is like the weirdest thing to notice and the weirdest thing to know. But here I am. I got curious about the way McGarrett drinks his beer. And
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that.
You should. If you guys remember Rhea on the podcast, hi Rhea. I told her that she was just as mind blown because she tried it too.
I'm definitely gonna try it.
Yeah, you should try it. A
Things in
beer
trash.
hack on Magnum PI podcast. What else did this episode have? Except, aside from a case I really couldn't follow because of reasons. Was invested in a different storyline. I'm sorry, you guys.
Was it
baby talk.
Oh, yeah. Everyone being happy for Rick.
I'm really disappointed that we didn't see him tell them on screen.
Yeah, everyone just knew.
Yeah, I kind of would have been like, hey, what are you going to do? Since when?
Yeah.
How long? What? Would have liked that. I mean, probably it wouldn't have gone for much character progression, but
I'm sure we're going to have more baby talk because, spoiler, Betsy's going to be back with a belly, so
yeah.
we're going to have much more. Oh, and actually, we know there's going to be more baby talk because it was in the synopsis for 13, I think.
I think so too, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, sorry. Can you tell I barely slept?
Yeah, me too. I was up early.
Yeah, and I went to bed late and was up early again and enjoyed my freedom outside.
Yes, your first day of freedom.
Since I haven't said it on podcast yet, for the past 2 weeks, I've been suffering from COVID.
Yep.
And I'm finally free. A, COVID free, and B, free of disappointment. I can actually leave again. I'm out of quarantine.
Woo-woo.
As of today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're
Just
listening
very excited
to this, when it comes out on Sunday, it's as of yesterday, as of this Saturday. Yeah. For details about my COVID story and someone else's, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Some other episode.
Soonish, I would think, because I think
February.
that we're going to have only episode 13, so next Friday, and then I think we have 3 Fridays off because of the Olympics, because the opening ceremonies happen to be on a Friday. So I think it's 3 weeks of no Magnum PI because of the Olympics.
If that's the case, at least in 1 week, you can enjoy an interview on the Magnum PI podcast. So there's something else about this episode that we haven't talked about yet.
Being?
I mean, come on, Higgy giving back the nest, being on the fast track to citizenship.
Oh, yes.
She doesn't have to marry someone again for this.
All because of MI6.
Yes, didn't expect that, to be fair.
Nope. I was like, what is she signing? And then it was all the nest papers. So, yay.
Yeah.
Higgy's going to be an American citizen.
Yay, American.
So.
Yay. And it kind of felt long overdue.
Yeah.
But we got continuity from the beginning of season 3 to or the ending of
technically
season 2,
end of season 2.
Yeah, to now, which is cool. Love that.
Yeah, well done. And I'm sure it'll be brought up again. I'm sure we're definitely not.
Oh, well, no, and she's a citizen.
We're for sure not done. But actually, wait a second. Wait.
I'm waiting.
So I guess she got a different type of visa, because at the beginning of season 3, when they tried to pull the thing over immigration, he approved her visa.
Did he?
So I guess he did. Remember? He's like, I'm approving your visa. You can stay. And that's why they had the whole dinner at the end where they were like, she's like, I don't have to marry any of you. And they had all the American flags and everything.
I rewatch that because somehow in my brain it was lodged that he just doesn't charge them for it.
No, he
obvious
approved the
fraud. Okay.
No, he approved it. So
he would still have to approve the. I'm guessing he would still have to approve the visa that is attached to
allows
the
her to
nest
stay.
papers.
Yeah.
Because there is this really obscure, I mean, not
Yeah.
obscure, there's this really weird, and it's like a lot of my friends know about this, there's this weird favoritism towards business owners with American visas.
Mm-hmm. So
It's like a lot of my friends here, just like that, they could go to America. Meanwhile, me, so many more college degrees and qualifications and years spent in school. Nah. Just because I don't own a business yet.
Yeah. Oh. So funny that it's so hard in Germany to start a business.
It's actually much easier than I expected-ish. But then again, there's this whole bureaucracy, and then I think the hardest part about starting this business-ish, it's like not a full business that I'm going to start. The hardest part about starting this business is the fact that even my advisor doesn't think I'm qualified for it. Except the fact of the matter is I am qualified to know what I can do and what I can't do. And he's like basing me not being qualified on me not being able to do my taxes. I bloody fucking know it. You can hire people for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody does their taxes by themselves in Canada. Everyone has an accountant do it for them.
Yeah. I do my normal taxes by myself and always get tax returns. So yeah, but business taxes? Dude, I'm gonna hire someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not touching that. I'm keeping every record and then like do your magic.
You just give it to the accountant.
Yeah. Like I'm clever enough to know what I don't know. And to, know that I have to take some money into my hands to get the quality that I need for a business.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy, completely off topic, that guy had the audacity to tell me, oh yeah, you should apply for that credit and that credit, and we're going to do it with this, and your website is going to cost like 5,000-ish. And I'm like, no. A, no, and B, no, a website's not going to cost me that. Yeah, but your online shop will cost that. Again, no. Like, I've done all my research before coming in, and he tells me what my business is going to cost me. I'm like, no. No, it's just not. It's not. And then your product can't be priced like this. That is the competitive price. I can't be pricier than everybody else in the market and expect to
do well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going with a fucking competitive price here. For good reason.
He's a hack of an advisor.
Oh yeah, he's no idea. The dude is an awesome business advisor. I give him that. He has no idea about my field. That's the thing. He has no idea about my field. He doesn't know how it works. He doesn't know the pricing. He doesn't know that, yeah. Basically, it's going to be a side hustle, and I'm not dependent on that money. And that's what I am banking everything on, because I'm not going to be dependent on that money until I quit my job, until this business is flowing so well that I can go full time with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, this is like a zero risk business thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the end of the day, if I place my products, they're just gonna, I can just forget about them and not, lose cash on them just because they exist. So like, at the end of the day, if I just wanted to know about, I can know about. Zero risk business.
Ooh, I can hear people upstairs.
Oh. I think the other day we could even hear Rufus on the podcast.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was barking.
Yeah.
Because his microphone picks up everything through like the ceiling and stuff. Yeah.
So, we've got the nest, we've got the baby, we didn't talk about Tammy.
He wasn't really there, considering it was supposed to be about him.
Well, his friend. we didn't talk about the case at all. But again,
it was boring. That's all you need to know. Done.
Specifics were really hazy for me. I mean,
yeah.
we have. Here's the thing. I was kind of, when we came back from Hawaii, I was kind of more enthusiastic about that episode about the homelessness aspect.
Mm.
And then in my head, everything took over because
And they
of
heard.
Leah
I mean, they
and
hardly
Thomas.
talked about it. They hardly talked about it. The homelessness aspect.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, the homelessness in Honolulu is way more present than you see on Magnum PI.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, way more present.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot miss homeless people in Waikiki. They're there. They're loud.
Yeah.
And it's I don't necessarily have a problem with their presence. I have a problem with them not being taken care of. Mm-hmm. Not in terms of, get them away, but like, these people need help.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just let them sit on the street and not help them. That's what I think.
Yeah. And I mean, you can see it all over, like you said.
Yeah. There even is a beach, and we're going to talk about that beach eventually on the podcast. That's called Sherwood Forest, because there were a lot of homeless people in the past camping out there, and mm-hmm. I think knowing that explains the name now, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess. Is it spoiler time?
Do we have any?
We have a promo?
Yeah, the promo with Miggy going to jail. Which, I'm going to say it again. I already said it to you, but I'm going to say it again. They made
Miggy and
Magnum way taller than they actually are. They put Higgins at 5'6", when in real life she's 5'3". Perdita's 5'3". And they made Jay 6 feet tall when in real life he's 5'7", I believe, or 5'8".
The guy is barely taller than me.
They gave each of them like 3-4 inches. They are not that tall. They are very tiny people in real life.
Jay is barely taller than me.
Yeah. So that I found hilarious at the promo, but I think it's going to be a decent episode, and I'm excited.
I think it's going to be a fun episode, yes. I think this is going to be a fun episode. I am fully expecting not to cry in this one.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting to be like, holy crap, Miggy is ninjas. Hence the outfit.
Yeah, you ninja'd it up. I
went full on Higgins with the black shirt.
Yeah. I just got myself a cute little freedom bowl. Yeah. Freedom bowl meaning because I can leave the apartment again, that's all. No American flag on that thing. It's just isn't that sad that you feel the need to clarify that it's nothing to do with America because they're politicizing freedom so much? Land of the free, except it's not the only land of the free. There's plenty of other countries that are free.
Yeah,
and I'm free now. I can leave the apartment.
Yep.
And I'm COVID free. It's the more important part of this.
Yeah.
I'm COVID free.
Other than that, I don't think we have any spoilers besides.
I don't think so either. We've already covered Betsy coming back with a big belly.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it, really.
We've known for a while that Leah's coming back in episode 14. But again, we've known for a while. Mm-hmm. Wait, have we known for a while, or has everybody known for a while?
I think I think most people have known she was coming back in 14 because Chantal posted that video.
Right. Yes.
Of her being like, "I'm back." So.
Yes.
Yeah.
That.
Everybody knew.
Oof.
Yeah. That was an everybody knew.
Cool. Yeah. I'm like, I was not entirely sure if just we knew that.
No. that was a Chantal gave it away one.
Hui. Is there anything else that we have?
Let me check my phone.
I'm pretty sure we have nothing else.
I'm pretty sure we have nothing else either, but let me just go through quick, and
At least nothing official. I think, yeah, we kind of do have something else. We haven't started the fire, but we're watching it burn. Leah and Higgins car ride. I'm personally kind of excited for it.
Yeah, we have obviously no idea what the context is, but it's coming.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
That's pretty much it for now. Then we'll be back for the next episode. If one of you guys wants to be on this show, hit us up in the DMs. Just be like, hey, I want to be in the show. So here's all it takes. Otherwise, we're just continuing to ramble among each other, and maybe sometimes find someone to talk to. Maybe sometimes someone to talk to who's been on the show. We're trying.
Mm-hmm. We are.
We succeeded one time, 2 times.
We did.
Yeah.
2 times. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them you'll see soon. And if you haven't seen the interview with Sean, why?
Go watch it. It's awesome.
He's fun.
Sean
He's
is amazing.
Such a cool dude.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled for the Hawaii episode. Because Sean. There's a story about Sean coming through on the Hawaii episode. I like the guy.
Me too.
Okay, that's it now, I guess.
It is.
See you guys around for our next episode. And that is it. Bye-bye.
Bye.